Okay, get back to the lessons. Uh, Another thing is, I have to clearly say, uh, we have a students, their mother tongue is Sinhala. We have a student, their mother tongue is Tamil. So when the Tamil and Sinhala language students are coming, I can't use other language except English. I know local A-level classes, some student, they expecting a mix of Sinhala and English because of the language difficulties. Unfortunately, this can't practice because students have difficulties understanding the one language. Like if I add Sinhala, other student they can't understand. Because of that, I have to use English as a common language for all. And the other thing, I really would like to say, you have advantage by learning in English, because the medical faculty, the day you enter, all lectures are English. They don't use any other language. So students, those who learn in Tamil or Sinhala and move into the medical faculties, and the day they started the lectures in English, they faced so much of difficulties. So most of the terminologies we use here coming up. So it is a great advantage learning in English. Many countries, even their official, the country's language is different. But I know that A-level classes, especially like chemistry, physics, maths, and biology-like subject, they teach in English because most of the textbooks are available in English. Even look at now A-levels. What is the book if you want to use Campbell biology? It's in English. Green biology, it's in English. So we have to change our mind. The English is the language we should use here to learn, right? I hope students who have difficulties, uh, they might not join for this class, because some of the students, when they are communicating, they write in Sinhala, like typing words in English letters but Sinhala. Like if they have that difficulty, that is something they have to improve their language differently. But learn biology, English is the language we use. I'm not doing it in Sinhala uh, because you can't write in Sinhala. If you are doing English medium, you can't write in Sinhala or Tamil, you have to write in English. So if you write English, you should also learn in English. Like if I use Sinhala mixing with English, that is not the right way of learning, right? Okay, next thing is branches of biology, right? What are the three main branches of biology? Right, we can make into three branches. One is uh, zoology and microbiology. One, zoology; two, botany; three, microbiology. So zoology is study about the animals. This is study about the plant, and this is study about the microorganism like bacteria. Right? So you can write the three branches: zoology, botany, and microbiology. Okay, probably uh, you may not aware, our time, A-level, we had a 4 subject. Zoology, botany, physics and chemistry. So we had to 4 subjects. So these 2 subjects now combine to make biology. So we, in our A-level result sheets, we have 4 subjects: biology, zoology, botany, physics and chemistry. So they changed now into biology, so you have a 3 subject. Probably you have a less amount because uh, the botany is about the plants. We have to learn a lot about plant, but now A-level just only the unit 4, only one unit for plants, and unit 5 is for zoology. But now it's much better. I think the biology, the subject you are learning, it's wide and they have more applications, right? So 3 main branches of biology is zoology, botany and microbiology. Okay, then sub branches, right? So we can still, next one is list a few sub branches of biology. Uh, Sub branches of biology, right? I mean, we don't want to list everything, just for interest, some of the branches, right? So I think if you enter to the medical faculty, the first year, usually I mean, traditionally, uh, the 3 subjects, one is called anatomy, second one is called physiology, and third one is called biochemistry. So I take these 3, that's most of the lessons are based on anatomy, physiology and biochemistry. Anatomy is the structure of the body. You are learning structure of the body and you are learning function of the body, and the chemical nature is under biochemistry. Just many branches we can list under biology. So everything has some base from biology: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. Then those who not enter medical faculties, if they enter into the dental faculty, veterinary faculty, veterinary faculty, agriculture faculty, science faculty. You know, once your GCE A-level exam end, the highest mark allocated the student for the medical. If you not fulfill with your cert core to the medical faculty, then you can have a chance to the dental faculty, then you can have a chance to the vet faculty, then based on again low mark agriculture and science. But anyway, all these, the base is the biology. So you have option if you are interested for any of these areas. You can still think, not having been selected to the medical faculty, still you have a chance to go to these faculties. Okay, next thing, uh, relationship with other disciplines of science. That's the next topic. Relationship with the other disciplines of science, right? Uh, so we can take this into 2. One is applied, another one is disciplinary. Right. Interdisciplinary and applied mean biology can be combined with completely different area. Let's say informatics. So informatics is the maths, statistics and algorithms of computer-based science. So biology is the natural science, learning life and the living things. So you combine these two and it's coming up bioinformatics. Yeah, that's also a very good area because a student can start the career for the bioinformatics. I think future being computers are more dominating, uh, this area is one of the most developing area in the future. Student they also selecting this area because uh, in the future doctors are now traditionally what they do, they take the lab reports and then they read the lab reports and they take other images, x-ray images, MRI, PET scan, CT scan, all these things, and after that they make a diagnosis. They come up, this person has this disease, so you should start treatment now. But now the things are changing. Person to person there are differences. We are all different, each other, we are different to each other. That means genetically we have differences. Then we should also consider the genetics. Then there should be an area, all the genetic informations should be added to the database, and someone should use this database to make a decision about the person's body. So like example like this, right? Bioinformatics. And the other one is applied agriculture. Right? These areas like agriculture, we should not neglect. Because if there is a food crisis, no food, uh, then people are dying. I mean, doctors can't treat because they are dying because of a lack of food nutrition. Because people who learn about agriculture, they can still save the world, like a doctor saving the patient, they can also save the world. So that's a interdisciplinary area and the applied science, right? So you can write under the section relationship with other disciplines of science, right? So that's applied the branches and intermediate interdisciplinary branch. Okay, these are actually not for the exam, but for your interest. Because some of the students, they have an interest to become a marine biologist. Some of the student, one student told me, sir, I want to be a forensic pathologist and forensic scientist. The forensic is the area dealing with the crime. Is there any degree we can do in Sri Lanka to become a forensic scientist? Like that, their interest, right? So when they interest, they try to find the areas they can specialize to get the degree, right? Okay, if you wrote this, we have uh, finished that section, right? Okay, now we are coming to the interesting topic, right? Interesting topic. The heading is listed 7 issues pertaining to biology. Okay, so we come to that, right? On the notes, you can see a circle like this. It's very bad, my circle, right? Okay, I want to make a perfect circle. See? So I can make perfect circle. And you see a human on the corner. All right, 7 issues. So what is the meaning of issues? Issues is a concern that we have to debate, that we have to discuss. I think let's simply say problems. Right now, can you tell me, type O, what are the problems we are facing these days? Like last few years or coming up years or now? What are the things we are facing, like a human, like you, your family, your friends, and we all together? We have some kind of concern, problems, worrying about the things happening us around us. So I think everybody aware of it. Can you send me all the things that you think this is the problem? Okay. All right. Don't think too much. Be anything like that. Anything you can write. Okay, I got one. So even doesn't matter these, you write these days fish as meat and very expensive. We cannot buy, we cannot afford fish and taking meat like. Okay, I got 3 responses. Others can still try, think and type. I will count all these things. Yes, we come to that a point like this. Okay, I only 3 response came, right? You can type and say, I see a problem yesterday. I was watching news, and there was one bad thing happened. Boy who wrote O-level this time, I mean like your age, he was playing with his friends and the family, and then the ball went to certain little bit of bushes, and he tried to take the ball. Snake bitten him. He was bitten by the snake. He was quite okay, and the person took into the hospital, and doctor started treat the boy, and the father told to the in front of the TV that there is a drug he has to find somewhere, and he couldn't find the drug. As a result, the boy passed away because of the snake bite. So, what is the problem? Drug treatments, and again we have a problem. I'm thinking about when I can pump fuel to the car. I think everybody is now having the problem with the fuel. And yesterday around, all the shops selling food items, rice is out of stock. If you want to stick by rice, there are few rice available like basmati like things. Other things are out of the stock. Okay. I mean, you send, Kitush send about the natural resources. Anuprada is the problem with the facilities. Less management in food production and using natural resources. Yeah, I think Apurva is again said about the food production. Yes, these are some of the issues listed by you. Right now, in case exam, if they still wanted to ask a question about this, I didn't see any question, big question, issues pertaining to biology. But this is a very interesting topic that you going to learn. Biology is not just about the cell and knowing about this thing and that thing and writing on the exam, get the marks, right? So we can list these 7 issues, and biology we try to find the solution, right? We try to find the solution for these problems. So these 7 problems are are major problem which are existing, which were existing, it was there yesterday, today, and even in the future. So we do not have a clear solution, but we are trying to find solution for the 7 issues. We go one by one about these 7 issues, right? So we come to the first one. I think another important thing I should tell you, if we want to learn something which has like a order, like number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this, like this, you have to learn. Or you have to learn certain structures. There are 12 structures, 12 structures in this brain, and you should know these 12 structures. So how do you know these 12 structures by order? Like example, the name of the first one is this, name of the second one is this, name of the third one is this, fourth one is this. So you have a task that you have to remember the name and the number. 1 is this, 2 is this. Or maybe a little bit differently, the order is there and no numbers, but still you have to remember the order. There is one strategy to overcome this. That is called mnemonics. Oh, this. Okay. Mnemonics. Alright, so mnemonics, right? Do you know any mnemonics that O level or some other places you learn? Periodic table, yes. Well, I think I am out of chemistry. I'm not doing chemistry anymore. I'm doing biology, but many years back, when we doing A level, we have this special mnemonic for Sinhala, Potte Beherunu Katu Somege, like this. We started to read these mnemonics, right? I will show you one of the mnemonics which is still used in A level now. You have to use it, or in the medical faculties, this one. So some say marry money, but my brother say big brains matter most. Some say marry money, but my brother says big brains matter most. So then it goes S olfactory, S optic. These are the names given to the names, 12 names, and you have S, S, M, B like this. They have letters. That means the sensory, motor, like this. There are mnemonics, like just one example. And the simple things we use sometimes is chemistry oil rig. Oxidation is losing electrons, reduction is gaining electrons. So you can make your own mnemonics, or you can use standard mnemonics, right? So I will try to add mnemonics at many places, and some students they make their own mnemonics to remember things, right? Okay, so we go into the first issue. So I delete this one. I think I had to delete the layer now. Yes. Right. Okay. Now, if we look around, if you go out of your room and look around, we see so many things around us, right? Birds, trees, some ponds, and some insects around grass, and some animals, probably cows. So that's our world. Okay, our planet is unique because we have living things. We have a living beings. And these living beings are different to each other by shapes. They are different. Look at this human, bird, and the animal. So they are different in the shapes. They are different in the functions. So there should be a way that we have to group them based on some kind of features. We have to group them. You are learning this one unit 3 in the grouping, but basic things need for the understanding. That means how many living things are on earth. If we ask a question, how many living things are on earth? Well, that's a very difficult question. I think no one can answer that question. But if we ask how many humans on earth, right? How many humans on earth? So this is this question we can answer. We can say let's 7.5 billion. 7.5 billion humans on earth. Then next question can be asked, how many birds on earth? That's again very difficult question. But if we ask a little bit of simplified question, how many peacocks on earth, or how many peacocks in Sri Lanka? Like there is still, we can find answers. So we go like a kind of specializing the living things. We give a special name for the living things like humans, peacock, cow, crows, like that. So we have a standard name for this kind of things, for living things. We call species. So I think from the beginning, it is better to know the definition of species, because we use this word, everybody use this word, but better to know the meaning of this one, right? Species is structurally, right? Structurally similar. Now, organisms. When I say organism, you know it's a living thing, right? Structurally similar organisms that can interbreed. Now, what is interbreed? They can do reproduction among their species, like human and human interbreed to produce a fertile offspring. Okay, what is offspring? Literally the next generation children's, right? So, I mean, we don't call, if a dog has pups, we don't call children. We don't call cow has children. We call cows and pups like that. So, to give a common word for this next generation, we use offspring. That means parents can make offspring. And what is fertile? Then the offspring can also interbreed for the next generation. Right? Interbreed means the reproduction among themselves, like human and human. So these are the species, right? I think we will learn this, but for the, I mean, certain thing it doesn't matter. We should only learn this in this unit. But if you want to understand something, we have to learn that word at the same time. And learning again second time advantage that you have again and again learning that you remember well, because many universities they practice recap mean same thing are repeating at several places. That's very important that the student can understand well, right? Species is structurally similar organism that can interbreed to produce fertile offspring. Now here it is a thing that sometimes we call it remember by heart. That means word by word we try to remember for certain definition, right? Now, when you take species, we have a problem here. The problem is, the first issue is biodiversity. It's a big topic, right? Biodiversity. Now, what is the meaning of biodiversity? Biodiversity is the variety and variability of species. Again, something that you should remember, biodiversity is variety and variability of species. Now, what is variety? What is variability? Simply, at the moment, you try to remember differences. That's the differences, different species, right? So, if we take a human structurally different and can interbreed to produce children, and the cow different to human, then cow can interbreed to make the cows. So human and cow, two different species. Likewise, we have so many species on earth. I mean, we can't count exactly, but the estimation says 8.7 million. We have 8.7 million species. And the variety and variability differences apply for within the species. That means if you take this bird, let's say crow. Now you are looking at a crow and you think all crows are same. Is that so? I cannot distinguish crows from another crow. But if you carefully observe, you will notice they have differences. Then you can ask question, ants, are they different to each other? If you take two ants, are they different to each other? Well, theoretical background they should be different. But differences are very less in certain animals. The animals are getting smaller and smaller, the differences are less. But the animal is getting bigger and bigger, the differences are bigger. That's like literally some kind of thing. So the differences, if you take two humans, they are different. So this variety and variability apply differences, different species, and within the species there are differences. We have different species, within the species there are differences. So biodiversity is variety and variability, and this biodiversity is important. That means all the species we need, the species existing on earth, not just for fun, it is a existence of the earth and the life created by all the species. Then if the species are disappearing, some species are permanently no longer existing on earth, we call extinction. That is bad, because one by one, if it is going out of the earth, survival of all the organism is at threat, at risk. Okay, we just coming to the end of the session. Again, you can take a 5 minutes break. Just you can have a cup of tea, and it's like 10:22, 10:28 around. We can again join for the next session, right? So while you are taking the break, you try to remember the definition of these two, species and the biodiversity, right? You can write it down. I think I give a time for you to write the species definition and the biodiversity definition, right? So you can try to remember these two important words by memorizing while you are having the tea or just a break, right? Okay. So I just write it here. The problem is extinction. Extinction. The problem is extinction. Extinction is